All right, if you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Morning. We're reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's have our conversation. The Federal High Court in Abuja has prohibited the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) from distributing further funds to the Rivers State government, citing constitutional breaches by Governor Siminalayi Fubara.
Justice Joyce Abdulmalik ruled that Fubara's presentation of the 2024 budget to a four-member House of Assembly violated constitutional requirements. This body, according to the judge, lacks legitimacy, making any budgetary decision made since January invalid.
Justice Abdul Malik's ruling restricted the CBN, the Accountant General, and the Rivers State's account at Zenith and Access Bank from releasing funds to the governor. The court emphasized that budget approval must come from a constitutionally recognized assembly.
The decision follows a lawsuit by a rival faction of the Rivers House of Assembly, led by Martin Amole, which challenged the legitimacy of the four-member assembly supporting Fubara.
The Amewole-led assembly had previously suspended state spending until Fubara resubmitted the budget to the full legislative body. The ruling also dismissed the governor's request to pause proceedings and alleged bias against Justice Abdul Malik, who reinforced the CBN's duty to validate constitutional budgetary processes before fund releases. Let's have our conversation now, and doing that we have from Zambia, Barrister Evans Ofeli. Good morning to you, Barrister, and welcome to Nigeria.
Good morning, Barrister.
Good morning.
Thank you so very much for your time. And also we have in the studio Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. Good morning to you.
Barrister
Tunji.
Thank you, Roger. Good morning, welcome.
Thank you so very much. All right, so let's get into and having our conversation now. I'd love to start with you, Barrister Evans Ofeli. It is said there, what defines a full constitutional assembly? Let's start with that first.
Well, a full constitutional assembly is one that derives its legitimacy from the elector or the electorate of the state or the country. Okay? And then once persons or parties have been elected to represent their different constituencies, they are deemed to have been properly elected. They are deemed to have been given legitimacy. But for the assembly to come to life, the Constitution says that the governor of the state or the president of the country, allocation on this center, shall make a proclamation to bring the house to life. So that proclamation was made at the time when the River State Assembly have one house. So the Amaule faction, editing faction, and then now the other new guy, all these factions used to be one assembly for the house was totally confused before certain numbers came to say. That day, the State House Assembly of River had not known. So in the eyes of the law, that assembly was properly. But from point of law, defection of 27 of them of the 4 of them has now brought division. That division polarized the house to the point where the ones left working with the governor and just to all their activities, the projects or engagement have been questioned by the other government activities. They from one litigation to the other, one court announcement.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. Thank you, Barrister Evans Ofeli. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, at this point, can we see, looking at how it's transpired this week, because I saw the budget came out to give a report this week, and it said that he's not going to sit and allow Wike remove Fubara from power. in River State, and now we saw this yesterday. I would say this judgment is politically motivated.
That would be, well, how do I put it? I don't want to put myself in a position whereby I'm making conclusion. How do I put it? I will not say it is and it is not. Yes, they both are together. I'll be hybrid.
Okay.
I seriously think, because I can't lay my evidence on any, but there are assumptions, there are speculations that is being influenced by certain individuals, particularly the former governor of River State, now the what's it called, the Minister of FCT, former Governor Yuson Wike. Yes, and that's why I can say regarding whether or not it's being politically motivated. Look at it generally. It's about politics. It's not about the people. Because if it's about the people, nobody who thinks he loves his state will go to court and ask the court to prevent allocation that will go to the state from going there. He's not fighting that allocation being there with air. Will not be a fight against the governor. Whether allocation is not paid for 1 year, 2 years, or whatever, the governor will live large. He's already a big boy. So who will suffer? Who are the people that will suffer these consequences? The people of the state. So it is not well considered. So and that's why I see the order by the court as an infringement on the right of the entire people of River State. This allocation is their right, it's their entitlement. And if we are talking about, because the allegation is that the governor is running illegality because there's no approved budget according to them. Or the governor is running with a four-man Senate Assembly. Let's even assume and not concede that is an offense against the governor and it's been established. By our law, the punishment is not seizure of what's it called? Allocation. Because that is not the punishment of the governor. That is the punishment on the entire state. And you cannot visit the scene of a governor on the entire state. Because with this now, those who are civil servants who are supposed to collect salary will not be able to collect their salary. The projects that will bring development to the state, they won't be able to embark on it. The one already on grant will be abandoned. So the only solution I know for breach of infringement of the constitution, if a governor has infringed or has breached or has conducted illegality, is that you take steps to impeach him. It is the government that has committed an infringement, not the entire state. So and bearing in mind again that we have a similar situation in Lagos State, though it may not be too striking, but they are similar. The similarity here is that there was a withdrawal act, there was we told you of allocation. So it happened in Lagos State, it happened in River State. Now that allocation is being withheld, the Supreme Court in 2004 clearly stated that look, the federal government has no right to withhold the allocation of Lagos State because that would be an infringement of the right of the people of Lagos State. And on that regard, I think, look, if you are saying a governor has breached the constitution, a governor has violated the law, which I believe, I know, that this matter is still pending in court. We don't, you see, people don't know one thing, and I don't know why people on the other side are not using media the way the people on the other side are using it. The case in court, because people see only the cases filed by this Amewule fashion as the case in court. The case in court in River State regarding this impeachment or removal, whether the tenor of the tenor or what now? Those who say they defected. Regarding the selection of the members of the House Assembly, 27 members, there are over 50 cases in court on this, and they are pending. Even the one that the court rely on to give the government he gave is being appealed. So I don't know why the court will not wait for the proper determination of that case to know whether or not. Let's even assume the Supreme Court say, look, confirm that the government has committed illegality. I am repeating, I'm saying it, that withdrawing and withholding allocation, it is not the punishment provided under the law. The punishment provided under the law for that type of act is for the government. It will amount to misconduct because it will be an infringement of the constitution. The government has failed to uphold the constitution. That's what it will amount to. And if it is like that, the punishment is for you to start impeachment process against the governor, not to create hardship on the entire people of River State. Because what will happen now today is going to create hardship on the entire people of of River State. Because like I said earlier on, salary will not be paid. People will not be able to eat. People want to go to school will not be able to go to school. The facilities that they are not going to be improved on. If there won't be money to run the government, would that affect the governor alone? Is the offense being alleged? Is it committed by the entire state? Was it committed by the entire state or by the governor? So for me, that is not the right step to take. The right step to take is not for them to just say you are holding allocation. And the Supreme Court has said it clearly that you cannot withhold that allocation for breach of infringement of constitution. You can take steps to impeach the governor. Then you cannot just say withhold this allocation because the governor has failed to abide by the court order or by the provision of the constitution. And for me, I think it's an aberration. For me, it's a concern. It should be a concern for the entire people of Rivers State and not for the governor alone. If people will come and say the governor should be worried, it is not only the governor. If the governor is not even, because as it is today, the only thing the governor will worry about is that he will not be able to perform, and he will have an excuse. The excuse will be that some people frustrated me. Remember, the citizen of this state frustrated me. They went to court and withdraw and withhold your allocation, and therefore I cannot do anything. It will be excused. So those who went to court and they don't love the state, that's where I see it, and they are not doing the right as far as I'm concerned. And the order of the court, with due respect, I think is not a properly channeled. The order should not be about withdrawal of allocation. It should be a grant to take steps to impeach the governor.
All right, Barrister Fansufeli, the order of the court, according to Barrister Tunji, is not well off. I would love to ask you this. I'm very excited that the African proverb "yam and the knife" is on the table of the judiciary right about now, and I would love you to help us digest this. You know, when golden rule and the mischief rule is applied most time by judges, do you think there has come to be a time when those rules are misused in the process? Because of course, just like Barrister Tunji did say, the sins of the governor is now being on the entirety of the River State. Help us digest that, please.
Yeah. Well, the people of River State, they struggle by taking the house mark out of the ordinary or go and take the center to have a form and then what is good for them as a state. And that is, for me, the most important. Because now the court have descended into the arena. Okay? You are going to know the influence that I think way now. Sometimes you are tempted to do well. Okay? The governor is said to have committed an impact for gross misconduct on that. Now, gross misconduct at the place, law, where the governor has said, without maladministration, corruption, like tendencies that are unbecoming of a people. When that has happened, the properly defined as gross misconduct. Now, gross misconduct has a place. The duty of the House of Parliament against gross misconduct. Because he said that running and presented the budget before Kuwait's Parliament and as follows. I was going to court to say that the entirety of his governance and policy development is done by the leader. That's okay. You don't need to go back. They go out and be that. But the punishment thereof cannot be to withhold funds that belong to the elector or the state itself. It can't. So the court misdirected itself. The court had a law to have come up with that ruling as a way of mitigating the said infraction that been committed by the government. Okay? It is so clear that sovereignty belongs to the resources deployed from Abuja belongs to the people. And the people at every time must have it. If you look at the argument of Kogi State, in this state of yes, one of their prominent prayer argument is that funds belongs to state. The federal government cannot come under any guise, the guidance to impose it, to trace it, to declare them as being used for course of corruption and post government. Okay, that is part of their prayer. In like manner, in Rivers State, these funds are meant for the people, and the federal government, through the courts, or the state government, or any other opposition, through the courts, cannot guide, withhold, and determine how that fund could be made. In that region of Lagos State, the Supreme Court held that the federal government has no right on control to withhold every fund that belongs to Section 1, subsection 1, 2 of 1999 states that anyone is standing the claim between the federal government and the state government, okay, shall be deployed to the state government, shall be deployed. So this ruling, therefore, is in contravention of sections 1, subsection 1, 2 of 1999, where the ruling is saying that, by virtue of the constitution of government in Rivers State, and by virtue of the fact that the government is involved in some kind of illegality, or what they call it, their funds belonging to the state thereby withheld. It runs contrary to the constitution, it's a miscarriage of justice, and the Attorney General of Rivers State, the onus is on him to appeal that ruling, on the ground that the court erred by not taking into consideration section 1 and section 1 of 1999, by not taking into consideration of the Supreme Court's judgment, the AG of Lagos for AG of Declaration, and by other subsidiary laws that empower the electors or the citizens as the sovereign whom all resources of the state is restored on. So when you look at it from that viewpoint, you'll find out that it appears that the court itself have fallen with the citizens' rights and privileges as provided for in the Constitution. And then this ruling cannot stand.
Yes.
It cannot stand because it does not carry with it the nuances of democracy. So the state must, as a matter of necessity, do again.
Yes, I had wanted to ask you. You did say it's a miscarriage of justice by the court. From our newspaper headlines, we have it that the Rivers State government have appealed that particular judgment. So, where do you think that stands? Do you think that would revert it back to statute quo with appeal?
Preempt the court, but we can state the law. We will not preempt the outcome of the court because the case is not good. But we can state what the law has said concerning the issue under it. And that is that you must apply the constitution and precedent with judicial authorities, and statutory authorities. And these statutory authorities are to the fact that any infraction, gross misconduct, or whatsoever, that is committed by a governor or his ally or whoever cannot be seen. The sins of the governor cannot be visited on his subject, on his state. It is not the law. You understand? It is not the law because in the application of law in our country, we apply what we call equity and justice. We apply what we call equity and justice. And one of the doctrine of equity is that justice must be seen as well, and not just done, or manifestly done, must be seen graphically as well. In the case of that reference, you cannot say that there's justice, that the funds of the state should be withheld because of any kind of actions or inactions that have been considered as illegal, okay, for which we have not even seen. At the point where the Supreme Court will determine this matter, the Court of Appeal will determine this matter, the judgment of the Supreme Court itself and the judgment of the Appeal Court itself will be put before them to determine the legality of what advice.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. Thank you, Barrister Evans. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Before now, you were saying about with the different perspective, different judges and lawyers get to see a case. From your own point of view, now looking at this case, and Barrister Evans mentioned something about justice and equity. Are you seeing this particular case, justice being served or equity coming into play here?
I'm not in a position to tell me whether or not justice being served, because it's a matter of perception. The way you see, the way I see it. From my own point of view, I've said it that I agree with the with the position of a learned judge, but I also respect it because that is she has a right.
She has the right.
So our opinion, and you see,
even if
when
it's
law,
miscarriage of justice.
No, you cannot say so because we cannot see issue or law from the same point of view. As a lawyer, if you bring 10 lawyers to this table now, our position will not be the same. That does not mean we don't know what we're saying. We are seeing it from different angles. So a judge has a discretion, and the law is that their discretion must be exercised judicially and judiciously. In other words, when you're exercising your discretion, you must look at the law. You must look at the facts. So, and if you look at the law, the way you interpret the law may not be the way I interpret it. So the judge may be genuinely, it may be that is the way he or she understands, the law. So the understanding of the law by a judge and bringing it out to the public does not mean she has committed wrong or she has done injustice. It shows that maybe probably, although in some country, applying the law wrongly, it will reduce your rank. In fact, if you are seeking for promotion to a higher court, that may work against you. Because they will ask you questions regarding certain steps you have taken, certain cases you have handled, and why you arrive at a decision that they think is not in line with the law. It may. But like I said, that is not enough to say that, look, a judge has done a miscarriage of justice. It is for the those who are not satisfied to go to court and say, we're not satisfied because there's a miscarriage of justice here, which I believe. That's my opinion as well. I believe the judge has not done the right thing here because what the judge has done is that just only looking at the governor and not looking at the entire state. They're just looking at as if the offense we are talking about here or the money that will be released is owned by the governor. The money does not belong to the governor. It belongs to the people of River State. And the people of River State are not being accused of any offense here. Let's even assume that they've been accused of any offense. Withholding of allocation is not a grant. In fact, when you release the allocation to the governor, and the governor starts implementing or using the fund, you can now come up with an allegation of breach of the constitution that there is no appropriation, and therefore what the government is spending is not covered by the law, that is not appropriated for. That could be a grant to impeaching. That you cannot say it's premature to even say don't give them allocation because the governor is doing illegality. Because he has no, even the issue of the main grant that he has, he only, that the bill was presented to only 4 members of the National Assembly, and that the court has said those 4 National Assembly is not proper, or those projects are set aside. That is before the appeal. I wonder why the court did not wait for that appeal to be heard, for that issue to be decided by the Supreme Court. For the court to stand and say, you have infringed the law. The matter is before the appeal. And like I was saying the other time, the case before the court in respect of this issue, there are more than 50. Then it appeared the public are only conversant with the cases filed by the Amewule persons alone, about 2 or 3 of them. There are over 50 cases in court regarding this. And all these cases are still pending. And as long as they are still pending, you cannot determine whether or not the governor has done the right thing or has done the wrong thing. You cannot determine or say that, look, presenting the budget before the 4-member states is illegal. Some people come with a moral allegation, which is not bad by law as far as I'm concerned. Even senior lawyers, they will say, how can you, it's ridiculous. Even the judges say it's ridiculous to present a bill before a 4-member House of Assembly. God forbid that 30 members of the Assembly, and they were 27 were traveling, and the plane crashed, and they all died. Are you saying the National Assembly and the Assembly will not work again? There is nothing in the law that says the entire member of the Assembly must be present where anything can be done. If you are not available, the proceeding will go on. And what we are saying is that, look, the law, what the law they are quoting, Section 91 of the Constitution, is not talking about quorum. It's talking about for you to have, to say, look, a state, for you to have an assembly, every state in Nigeria, what number of members that we have as member of assembly must not be more than 3 or 4% of the members of the House of Rep they have. You know that one, they said the minimum must not be less than 24, and the maximum must not be more than 40. You know that also, you cannot say, because I'm the Kano state, I want to have 15 assembly. That's what the law is saying there. Because I'm a Kano state, I want to have just 20 or 15. I don't want 24. That's what the law is talking about. There's nowhere in the law that says for you to have a proceeding at assembly, everybody that's a member of assembly must be present. There's nowhere. People have been absent at the assembly and proceedings are going on. Does that nullify the proceeding? Then because the number is large now, which was not said by anybody, that large number of people who were on their own say they are going. That does not make it illegal. So, like I said, if something happens, God forbid, that is bad to 27 or 26 of them, and they cannot be part of the assembly again, the assembly will not stop. The assembly will continue to run until new members are put in place. And if at the time those 4 members are running, it's the time when project is to be presented, they will present to them and they will pass it. So for this sentiment of how can you go to 4 members, it's ridiculous. It's not covered by any law. It's covered by just senior lawyers are saying this too. I beg to disagree with them. So for me, it is not about the Fubara that we're talking about. It's about River State. If you are fighting Fubara, yes, you can fight Fubara. If you are saying Fubara as a governor has committed an offense, you can go against him. You can't go against the state for the offense alleged to have been committed by the governor. The state is independent of the governor. The money that is to be released is not owned by the governor. It's owned by the entire state. It's only the fund belonging to the. Assuming again, the local government will not join as a party. They even attempted to join the case. The court refused to allow them. This local government too will be affected. They have their own separate allocation. That will also not be released. Is that the law? Is there any law that says once the governor has committed an offense, the entire state will not collect their money? There's nowhere in the law that happens. The only thing you can do, like I'm repeating it, is that they can take that as a basis to start impeachment proceeding against the governor. Simple. Withholding the allocation is contrary. Is a clear breach of fundamental right and an attempt to create hardship on the people of River State.
Okay, thank you so much. Barrister Evans, please, this will be my last question, and you can just add your parting shot to it. Looking at the way this whole event is playing out and where it's headed, if you can predict what is going to come up moving on, what can you predict happening to River State, and what would be your advice to Fubara on how best to handle the issue as a legal practitioner?
The analysis is well, we will do analysis on the basis of what and any attempt is going to give outcome, which is not the way to go. But I would think that in fact, before I didn't know they have appealed, but I said I know they were appealed. Now it is confirmed that they have appealed.
Yeah, they have appealed.
Yeah.
That is the way to go. Until the law is settled, you should not. They should keep on litigation because since the elders of that state feel offensive to mediate, okay, and even when the president is an attorney, hearing to the politician, and people are saying it. So it is now the court, it is the only arbiter that have punitive authority to determine this case. And as such, that is where we are. But I believe that there is no way we are going to reach it either legal or otherwise. When the governor commits an act, and withholding the fund of the state is not going to be never. Remember that in our law, for you to say someone has committed an offense, That is penalty of it. There is no such penalty under our law to withholding funds because somebody didn't do the right thing or you think that you did something that is not okay. It is never a solution or penalty that the entire state has their friend is there. It's not it at all. So let the court make a decision on this. And for those who feel that they have continued to mitigate, even when they have respected party to the different time. And Kubara party have filed a thing against the court ruling restraining INEC from conducting elections. That particular case, the Kubara's led must take that case together. I don't know why they're not taking that case. Because the only thing holding Kubara is that case where the adverse party has gone to court to restrain INEC from conducting elections. Have they vacated that or that? Have they been appealed again? What is the state function of that? Because Kubara initiative seems to be actually a major or minor. The main case that should give them, they keep attending to that or that. That's to them going to withdraw their and the other party will advance with theirs. The one they really need to work on, they're not working on. So they have to do well to make sure that they get hold of those cases that will make the implementation of the constitution further. Because if we are going to go further, going further will mean INEC conduct elections. Because INEC have not conducted an election. That is why these people think these lawmakers think they still have a right under the law. You know they are doing, getting some ruling, only ruling. Let them conduct elections.
All right. Pastor Tunji Abdul Hamid, just before we drop our anchor for today, the issue right now is while we wait for the court, the judiciary to do what they know how to do best. Let's maybe go back to 2005. You cited Lagos State. At the time, Olusegun Obasanjo equally did the same for Lagos State. Our current president, then governor of Lagos State, used that as opportunity to show what he is best at. At that time, according to former Vice President Osibajo, he said that the Lagos State government generated 450 billion naira from internally generated revenue, of course, which is today making Lagos State the economic hub and still remains the economic hub. But don't you think this is an ample opportunity for Fubara to show what he is better known for, if really he knows how best to lead his people?
Henry, it may be a better opportunity for him to do that. Even if the point here, even if he's able to generate money, the point here we see the issue we see come up. The issue here is that the issue as to which of the assembly is legally constituted assembly. Because even if you generate funds from your state, it must be appropriated for you to spend. So who will appropriate it? There's a debate as to the four-man panel at the legally constituted assembly. There's a debate as to whether or not the Amefuli and the. So if you take that the money you generated from the state and you now decide to take it to the four-member again, other people will still go to court and say you are violating the constitution. So that is why the debate here. So until that issue as to which one of them is the legal validity of the what's it called, of those 27 or 4 members of the assembly are determined by the court, the problem will still linger. So, and the point is this: the INEC will not conduct election. You know why? There are different court judgments. This one will say INEC go ahead. This one say INEC don't go ahead. So INEC is in the fixed. They are in this conundrum. So and that is why I said even if he's able to, and that is why the difference between that is that in Lagos State, the assembly there was no issue. So all the money generated in Lagos, they can still be appropriated by them for the government to spend. Okay, you get my point. So then in this case, there will still be debate as to whether or not there was, because the question here is that there was no proper appropriation.
Oh, okay.
And that question will see arise, even if he's able to get a money, which I know they can get. If I state they can make money as well. They have exactly when people are, when the government is where it is, and the people want to say, look, we can show them that we can start on our own. The governor will make the money.
Now, don't you think this is an interesting time to be a law student in Nigeria with all of this back and forth going on? What do you think is the benefit?
It's always be interesting for you to be. That is the beauty of law.
Yeah.
The beauty. That's why I like law. No one is absolutely the owner of knowledge. You can go right, and you may be right. You can go left, you may be right. You can go left and right, and you may be right.
And you can stand.
So it depends on the angle you are looking at it from. It depends on how you can look at the law and see what other people will not see. It depends on how you can think. That we have what we call good lawyers, because other people think and see what other lawyers will not see. You get my point? Why some other lawyers are focusing on, for instance, this issue we are discussing. Some people are going with the gallery. They are going with the majority, going with the people, ordinary people. Why will he have lawyers? They are not looking at the legality of what the court has done. They are looking at the why would the governor be running before House of Assembly? Is that normal?
Thank you, Barry.
They will not go. So and for other lawyers who want to think beyond that, will go. So that's why it's beauty. And law is I encourage you to.
Thank you so much, Barry. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, Vice Sufeli. We truly do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Pastor Tuji Abdulhamid, thank you as always.
Thank you, Abby.
Yes.
Really enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, that's just about the time we have for our show today. We'd love to say thank you to you. Thank you so very much for being part of it. And you can equally visit us when you want to. That is at enterprisetvnews.com. You may like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Ikwebike.
And I'm Choma Okoye.
Thank you for watching once more. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.